Hello guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the event that is happening today and will be possibly the biggest event happening today in tech. So today is the 14th of October 2025, and if this day doesn't remind you of anything, I think you have lived in a cave for a very long time, at least for this year and the year prior to this one. So the news that is sparking up today is that Windows 10 support is ending today. And it applies to Windows 10. I don't know, I thought it was going to open up something else. Obviously it's Windows 10. So as a reminder, Windows 10 will reach the end of support on October 14th, 2025. At this point, technical assistance, feature updates, and security updates will no longer be provided. If you have devices running Windows 10, we recommend upgrading them to Windows 11 with a more modern, secure, and highly efficient computing experience. If devices don't meet the technical requirements on Windows 11, we recommend that you enroll the Windows 10 Consumer Extended Support Updates, which is the ESU version, which we'll talk about later. Program or replace the device with one that supports Windows 11. Now, why is this a controversial update, or why is Windows 11 this controversial update, right? For that, we're going to have to look at the hardware requirements for Windows 11. So these right here are the actual system requirements for Windows 11. Now it says here a gigahertz or faster with 2 or more cores on a compatible 64-bit processor or a system on the chip. So if we go here, Windows processor requirements. We'll go to Windows 11. We can go to whichever version here, and yeah, let's go to Intel processors, for example. As we can see here, these Celerons don't really show the actual update date, but yeah, anyway, let's go here. So as you can see here, the slowest CPU, well, not the slowest one, the first CPU in terms of like generation that you can actually install Windows 11 on is the i3-8100. Now the i3-8100 I believe came out in 2018, and the 8th generation also came out in 2018, right? So it's not exactly like the oldest system, because remember when Windows 10 came out, you could also run it on Pentium 4s. Anything that supported SSE 2, as far as I know, could support Windows 10. I mean, yeah, maybe it was slow, but it did support it. So yeah, that's the CPU requirement here. Now this is pretty high. I mean, obviously. The RAM, which is 4 gigabytes of RAM, I believe back then it did require 8 gigs of RAM. Storage, 64. So back then, I mean like a couple of updates back. 64 gigs of larger storage, or larger storage device, yeah. So this is the storage back in Windows 10. Now, I don't believe anyone doesn't have like a 64 gigabyte storage device, so this is fine. 4 gigs of RAM, also fine. I mean, Windows 10 you can install it on 512 megabytes, so not exactly the same, but it still works, because 4 is basically the minimum. It's the bare minimum to make the system function. Back in 2019, I did use a 2 gigabyte RAM system, which is not the best, let's just say that. And then here comes the harder part. UEFI, Secure Boot Capable. Check here for information. And Trusted Platform Module 2.0. Now, a lot of the CPUs and the platforms that had those CPUs may not have them enabled, may not have them physically on the systems. So this is where it gets even more nicher, if I may. So this Trusted Platform Module, especially, is the one where it really just hits you. This is the thing that really will stop a lot of people from installing this OS. I mean, there was a way to bypass it, I believe, by like running some commands during the installation, and a lot of people did that. Also, there was a way to do it through Rootless, so other people also did that as well. I mean, personally, I didn't want to go through that stuff, especially when considering when you even did that, the updates didn't show up properly for you. Like, when you installed Windows 11, from my experience, the feature updates did not actually install properly. So you had to do the same process every single time, put the USB in, run the executable for the setup, and then open up the actual interface and actually install it. Now the rest of the stuff, I mean, these are also higher requirements. It now requires DirectX 12 for the GPU, so yeah, good luck installing anything older than that. So that's like 400 series and above for Nvidia, and I believe like what was it, like 700 series, 7,000 series for AMD, I believe, or it was 6,000 series. I don't remember. It's the Radeon HD anyway. So, and high definition 720p display. So back then you were able to install it on a 600p display, and it also has like a 9-inch diagonal and 8 bits per color channel requirement as well. And these are not exactly something you want to worry about, because these are Compilot Plus PCs, and yeah, if you have these, it just runs. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that's the main problem here, and that's why most people are like thinking about, like, considering other options, which is not Windows. The second option would be the over intuitification, if I may, of Windows with AI. So if you don't know, like, the Copilot stuff, and everything in Windows now has like this button to press AI, to use AI for this thing, and then use AI for that thing. Some people don't want that, don't get me wrong, it's good, but not everyone wants AI flooded into their viewport, if you know what I mean. So what is the ways that Microsoft recommends you to solve this problem? Now, installing Windows on your current PC, Windows 11, that is only when you meet the system requirements. As of the last update, I believe, can you only do that? Because before that, you could actually force installation of Windows 11 on older hardware, and I had tried it back on my Core 2 Duos back in 2021, and I can guarantee you it still runs. But I don't know if it will update to the newer version, which likely it won't. And it is eligible to update directly to Windows 11. You might have already received a notification about upgrading. To check if your PC is eligible, just go to basically do that. New PC with Windows 11. If your PC is not eligible, or if you want to a new PC with Windows 11 pre-installed, you might want to start exploring the latest Windows 11 PCs. So basically buy our new stuff. Make your other stuff e-waste and buy our new stuff. Extended security updates, ESU program. If you want, if you need more time before moving to a Copilot Plus PC or other Windows 11 devices, the customer extended support pro updates program can protect your Windows 10 device up to the October 14th, 2025. So a year later from that day, right? So in this program, you basically buy Windows again, so you pay them like $30, I believe, and then they basically just give you another year of Windows 10. And for corporate people, I believe it's $30 for the first year, and then it gets doubled every single year after. So yeah, not exactly ideal. So what do I recommend? Well, as a Linux user, I would recommend Linux, but let's just be real here. Windows 10 isn't dying tomorrow. It's not going to die in a year, I believe. It's not going to die in 4 years. I mean, okay, let's just say I'm stretching the 4-year mark here, but Windows 7 actually died in 2020. It died, it got out of release in 2020, right? So it stopped getting updates in 2020. But programs for it still exist today. For example, Firefox, the browser which I am actually using now to view this page, its ESR build, so the extended support release, still gets security updates on Windows 7. Now it's going to get security updates until February next year, but it's still getting security updates. So if you're going to be using Firefox, you don't care about the new features of Firefox, you still have the security on that regard. Chrome ended support for it in 2023, I believe. That's not the best option. But yeah, if Chrome goes, you should know that Discord and other stuff will go as well, because like, for example, Steam as well will have to go, because those depend on the Chromium project, and if Chrome goes, that means the Chromium project has also moved on, and if those people, like Steam and the rest, want to continue like supporting the system, so Windows 7, they should stay on the same version of Windows, Chromium or Electron in this case, to support it. So it's not economical for them, and it's more likely for them to change their mind. You can still stay on Windows 10. It will have some issues. For example, I would say if you're using an older browser, you could have to take like more precautions while actually browsing the internet. But aside from that, you should be fine, as long as you have the firewall enabled. So every single exploit that was available on Windows 10 will now not be patched. It will not. That's just as simple as it is. Anyway, unless you get the extended security updates, which I don't honestly recommend, maybe for the first year, but like if you want to like call yourself a corporation or something to get another year, I do not recommend that. That's doubling the price every single time, and that is not something you want to go into. About the 4 years, the 4 years is still fine. Maybe you want to get those 4 years, like without updates, but I do recommend at least trying something else out. So let's go back to what I would recommend. Well, firstly, if you're scared of the Linux ecosystem or the Linux operating systems, macOS. But here you're sacrificing a lot of stuff. Firstly, your wallet. Secondly, your ability to game as well as you could on Linux, at least. Because on Mac, the experience is at least spotty. But yeah, this is a viable option if you've got the money, if you want to try out Mac, and if you have tried out Mac especially beforehand, this is pretty much a good experience, except the experience is good right after you pay a hefty sum for whatever you want to buy. For example, my whole PC, which I got for a bargain, every single piece in my PC had for a bargain, actually costs less than this M4 chip MacBook Air 13, and guess which one is powerful? My 3090 or the GPU which comes included here? I'm gonna leave you to guess that. Anyway, moving on. Let's say you don't want Mac. Let's say you don't want Windows because it has privacy issues. Maybe you don't want to install Windows 11. It's just not your thing. Maybe you just want to do something else which is more reasonable. Linux, my friends. Linux is the way, especially as a gamer. If you're a gamer, you can actually play a lot more games on Linux than you can on macOS. And the good thing about Linux is it works on everything. So back like 3 months ago, I was actually installing CachyOS on my friend's laptop. Now that laptop, which I installed CachyOS on, had 4 gigs of RAM. It had a hard drive and it had a CPU, an i3 from 2012 or 2011. I can't really remember. Okay, it was a 2nd gen CPU. I don't know which year it actually came out in. So anyway, CachyOS. I just said, okay, you want Linux, you're fine with it. Let's go for CachyOS because it's the thing you can install right away, very easily, and yeah, it's just out there in the open. So as you can see, you just go to CachyOS.org and you go to the download section here. So here. And then you go to the desktop edition. You can check one of these. You can download it via torrent. By the way, one of the legal ways to actually use the torrent network or protocols. Magnet, SourceForge, or Direct. Now I'm not going to be installing the OS here. If you want me to like guide you through how to install this OS, please comment down below. I will do that happily for next week's video. And we've got the handheld edition, which is for the handheld consoles, which are the Steam Decks, the ROG Allies and stuff. So yeah, you can install this as well. I mean, I don't think you want to install this, honestly, but yeah. So what you want to do is go for the desktop edition. So the desktop edition will by default come with this KDE Plasma look, which you should choose if you're a Windows type of guy, but you also have other desktop environments. Again, this is not the point of this video. We'll discuss it in another video if you want to. Comment down below if you want to see a installation tutorial of CachyOS. And then you can also, as you can see, you can check your check your range of desktop environments, Wayland compositors, X11 window managers, including KDE Plasma, GNOME, XFCE, i3, Wayfire, LXQT, OpenBox, Cinnamon, Cosmic, UKUI, LXDE, Mate, Budgie, Qtile, Hyperland, and Sway. Now my friend actually went for OpenBox because from what I could tell that was the most energy efficient, which was also easy, and he did love his experience, and he's still using that system after what, like 2 months? Yeah, it's been 2 months. A little more actually, like 6 days more or 7 days more than 2 months. So yeah, it's working really good for him. And if you're the type of person who basically uses the browser, maybe does some light office work, maybe like games, like very rarely, or if not very rarely, if you have a bit better system, and if you can play the modern games on Windows, you can play the modern games on Linux as well, as long as your GPU supports Vulkan, but that's another video as well. Anyway, so yeah, if you can play the games on Windows, you can play them on Linux as well. So yeah, why not go for CachyOS? And I don't know how that question is viable, at least at this point anyway. You just install this, it works, it has a software store where you can like download everything graphically, and yeah, I don't see an issue there. And my friend, who doesn't really game because his hardware doesn't allow it, he does have a very good experience with Linux now. He has had it with it, and also it's a learning curve. You can basically learn, and yeah, that's always good. So yeah, that said, that should wrap up this video at this point, and yeah, I don't know. If you enjoyed the video, if it was informative, please put a like, or maybe consider subscribing if you want to view the follow-up of this video, the actual installation of CachyOS, which I will do next week if I get any comments telling me how to install CachyOS under this video. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!